Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Welcome to Facts and Two Cents. This is Petal. Hope you're having a fantastic day wherever you are. Hope our faves are having a fantastic day. Don't know what they're doing, but they have been quiet, so we love them under their tree, whatever and wherever they are. But there's there is stuff going on around the royal sphere, I guess, and coming out of Shutter Island. It is so wonderful about these things because I feel like whenever we, don't engage with these people, whenever we don't feed whatever it is and buy into whatever nonsense they're selling, they tend to do what I love to see them do: eat their own. They tend to go after each other because, again, they need to make a living and they're not getting fed. The monster is not being fed. So they start turning on each other and then start exposing each other. And it's very funny to watch it happen. And case in point with this is Anna Pasternak. That's her photo over there. And she is the reporter who did, and if you guys remember this Tatler article, Catherine the Great. And it was a whole big hubbub. And with Anna, I think, sort of tasking some of those turn of tops, hoity-toity British people to say all these things about Kate Middleton. And some of it landed, some of it was like, ugh. What was supposed to be this fluffy piece about Kate, Catherine the Great, as the article says, turned out to be this snipey article that was just like, eeks! That landed like a thud among the British press and especially Kensington Palace. And so, if you remember some of the things that were in this article, it was some gems. Some of it was like Kate and thank you, Stella Beachy, who clipped, because I couldn't find the article because after all of the nonsense, the palace threatened to sue and all of that stuff, Tatler went in and edited the article. So now it's this fluffy piece, and they took out all the snarky, gripey things that was in the article. And so this is what this is so this is what it said, and at least some of what it says. It talked about Kate, who is the kingmaker. It says popular with courtiers who admired her fuss-free ability to get the job done, as well as with her loyal royal staff. No Sussex turnover of assistants here. Lies. In the almost decades since she joined the firm, she's more than proven her abilities as a royal consort. Indeed, she's gone so far as to be dubbed the Kingmaker. That's right. She's the Kingmaker. She's making William. Surely one of the highest accolades given to a princess. He goes on to talk about how she's a champion of children. Kate knows what the country needs and wants, championing how to raise your children is perfect. One friend points out of the Duchess's ability to appear like a down-to-earth parent during the recent Zoom appearance and podcast interview. That's right. And then she goes on to snipe about things, of course. It says, of course, she's smiling and dressing appropriately, but she doesn't want it. She feels exhausted and trapped. She's working as hard as a top CEO who has to be wheeled out all the time without the benefit and boundaries of plenty of holidays, of course. I mean, the squad went to town with Kate Middleton, the top CEO, and how she has to be wheeled out and she's tired and trapped. And oh, poor Kate. Oh, poor darling. And, they go on to talk about her personality. It says, and it's why she is so well suited. She keeps her head down because the price of being the queen is so great. She models herself after the queen and now speaks like the queen. And nobody could really understand her, but that's another point. It talks about Carol Middleton being the brains of it all. It says, Kate's mother, Carol, is noted as a close confidant and influence, particularly as she herself is so ambitious. A friend of Donna of Donna Eyre, Kate's younger brother, Kate Middleton's ex, alleges Carol is the mastermind force between these girls. And of course, all of this was before Carol went bankrupt, but another story. It also talks about how the Sussexes, by leaving for their, to protect their mental health, threw Kate under the bus. Yes, that's right. A friend of the Cambridges, speaking to Tatler magazine, revealed William and Catherine really wanted to be hands-on parents, but it's Harry and Meghan's fault. They can't be. And the Sussexes have effectively thrown their 3 children under a bus. That's right. By leaving to protect their mental health and their lives, they have thrown Kate and her kids under a bus. I know. And because of all of that, the insider went on to call Meghan and Prince Harry so selfish for their behavior, adding that their decision would have profound impact on the Cambridge's life. They explained, there goes the morning school runs, as the responsibility on them now are enormous. I mean, and it goes on and on and on. Talks about Kate made Meghan cry and Meghan made Kate cry, and it's just like, and then it also goes on to tell how ruthless Kate was. One insider added, in the palace, you hear numerous stories of the staff saying so-and-so is a nightmare and behaves badly. But you never hear that about Kate. Kate, whose manners are described as impeccable, is also said to have a ruthless survival streak that makes her well-suited to the House of Windsor. And so these are some of the gripes and stuff that Anna Pasternak put in the thing. I mean, how selfish is Harry and Meghan to run off to America to protect their lives? Because by running off, they effectively throw Kate and William under the bus. So now they can't do their morning school runs because they have so much pressure. Oh, my dear God. So again, this article came out and everybody was like, oh! Again, this was supposed to be this fluffy piece. And then Anna just sort of flipped the script at it all, and Kensington Palace went crazy. They went crazy. They threatened to sue Tatler. Anna talked about William calling the Daily Mail, because what they did was, between Tatler and the palace, they decided to do they did a deal when they were threatened with a lawsuit. They worked out a deal where the palace wouldn't sue Tatler. And so it was all hush-hush. Anna was asked by Tatler to not say anything, even though, I think it was the Daily Mail did this whole spread attacking her and bemoaning the fact that anyone would say all these things about Kate. And so Tatler worked out a deal with the palace, with Prince William and I guess Kate, that they wouldn't sue. And it was all hush-hush, nobody knew. And then William, what Anna is saying, that William called the Daily Mail and basically leaked the information to the Daily Mail that basically Kate won over Tatler, and Tatler was made to take down and be able to, they were made to delete really a lot of this article because, if they didn't, they would get sued. And it was really wild because she said that he called the Daily Mail, and then one of their people had lunch, I guess, with somebody, I guess the editor of and actually not the Daily Mail, the Mail on Sunday, which is a sister paper. They had lunch with one of, I guess, the editor, and planted the story about Tatler and about Kate beating Tatler, and Tatler having to edit this article. But it was really wild, as you were talking about, just just the power and the control that the palace has over the printed press. And it is just and one of the things that she also mentioned there was how much the royal family manipulates the media. And that, so if you're a squatty, I mean, the royal family manipulating the media is nothing new. We talk about that constantly. One of the things she also confirmed, I mean, we knew this, Harry talked about this, one of the things that we she absolutely confirmed is how, and she name checked the Telegraph, and you can put this for any of the other British press, is how they would not write, and they refused to write a wholly positive article about Harry Meghan. And on the flip side, they refused to write anything negative about about the Cambridges or the Waleses, William and Kate. And it's amazing how she just completely name checked them. Like they would not do it. And so, and again, this was, she's talking about this. She's part of a podcast. Actually, I should have said she did this podcast called Infamous, and had this whole 30 minutes conversation with the host talking about her. Well, would they refuse to write positive articles about the Sussexes because they're royalists? And she's like, no, it's because they have a contract. It's either spoken or it's not, spoken or unspoken. They have a firm contract between the palace and the press to never write a wholly positive article. And you see that evidence in just about every article, even the ones where they quote unquote try to be positive about the Sussex, they will always include something negative, a negative dig, a negative something in their articles. They refuse to. On the flip side, 99.9% of the articles they write about the Waleses are positive. And again, she just totally confirmed. She blasts them, basically. She is bitter for what they did to her because they kind of, going behind her back and basically threw her to the wolves when the palace and I guess it's the Mail on Sunday really went after her for writing this article, an article that she thought it would be something that, the turnip tops would probably get a giggle out of and then just discard, turn into this big, huge thing. Because again, according to the contracts that these outlets have, nobody is supposed to say anything negative about Kate. And then all of a sudden you have this article that is snipey and very negative towards Kate and her mother and all of those things. And she got the huge backlash because of it. And so Anna Pasnick is still very bitter about that. She talked about how ruthless the palace is with the press, how ruthless they are if you basically fall on the wrong side of them. She also talked about just even recently the video, the quote unquote that fake farm video with Kate and William, that she even is saying that she doesn't even know if that's really Kate there. She also has her questions about that. And so she was saying that was definitely a setup by the palace, because they were talking about, that this random person shopping just saw them and that they were happy, and that's the narrative that the press put out there. And she's like, no, that was totally set up by the palace and the Sun. And so she doesn't buy into any of that stuff. She also talks about just the things that leak out of the palace. She's like, nothing is leaked out of the palace without the principals, like the Prince William and King Charles and their courts. Nothing is leaked out of there without their knowledge. So whenever things go leaking out of the palace, we know that William, and especially William, who is such a control freak, we know that they know about it, and that they would have had to give approval for those things. And she also talked about how shocked the palace has been, because they usually control the narrative, because again, they're very, very, very controlling when it comes to their image, when it comes to the media, when it comes to any kind of narrative that goes out about them. They are ruthless about that. And it's been very shocking for them, because all of a sudden they've just, especially with the Kate's fake photos and all AI video and fake farm video and all of those things, it's been a real shock for them, because for the first time they cannot control the narrative. They can't control it, and it's been kind of a really shock to their system that they cannot control the narrative. And so it was very interesting to see a royal reporter and just completely outed all of them and outed their invisible contract. And we remember how much they're like, no, there's no invisible contract. We don't have an invisible contract with them. And it's just like, and so Anna Pasternak, who was completely royalist and completely, I remember when Harry and Meghan left, she and Dr. Shola had this fight on air. And she was like, no, Harry and Meghan cannot leave and then have an independent lifestyle while still be royal. And Dr. Shola was like, well, how do you know? You're not a royal. How do you know? And they had this sort of bickering going back and forth. It was hilarious watching it. But she was a staunch royalist. And ever since this episode with Tatler, she has completely changed her opinion of the royals, completely changed her opinion of Harry and Meghan. Now she believes whatever they say as opposed to believing the royals. I mean, I don't trust any of these people, even if that's what she says. But her narrative about the royals have changed, and she has been outing them. Again, she is bitter for what they did and what they allowed with this article, Prince William leaking all that stuff to the press. So she is basically has a bone to pick with them. And we are just happy she's doing it. So yeah, one of the things that she also talked about was when all of this was happening, the managing director of Tatler at the time was Camilla Parker Bowles' niece. I'm telling you, I had to laugh when she said, I was like, what? Camilla Parker Bowles' niece, Louisa, who is, she's actually Australian, and she became a UK citizen. She is Camilla Parker Bowles' niece. She was the managing editor of Tatler at that time this was all happening. And she's the one that told Anna that don't worry about it. Kensington Palace is not going to sue, all of that stuff. So Camilla Parker Bowles' niece was there as Anna, put out this article. A lot of it were very negative about Kate. And you're like, okay, that's interesting. But it's really funny. And then, so thank you, Muriel from Axe, who posted all of these things about Louisa Parker Bowles, who I'd never heard of until yesterday. And very interesting, the people that she and the different people that she follows and likes on Axe. As you can see, there's her liking a post from Richard Eden, and we know Richard Eden, and also liking posts from Piers Morgan. Basically, he's attacking the Sussexes as usual, and she's liking it. And so it's very interesting. Like, I did not realize that Camilla Parker Bowles had relatives working at Tatler, but whether she's still there or not, I'm not sure. But at that time, Anna name-checked her as the person who told her that Kensington Palace would not sue. And so obviously they worked out the deal that they're not going to sue. It was supposed to be hush-hush. And then Prince William called up, as Anna says, called up the Mail on Sunday and leaked it to them and planted that story there that Kate basically has taken down Tatler and won that bout, and Tatler has to delete all of that stuff. That was supposed to be hush-hush. Anna said nobody at Tatler leaked it. She didn't leak it. And she name-checked Prince William as the one who called up the Mail on Sunday, and then one of their people had lunch, and they planted that story and gave that to the Mail on Sunday to basically expose. And so it was very interesting, but it's just like Camilla, we know of Camilla having all of those friends in the tabloids. We know she's besties with Daily Mail owner, and we've seen them together quite a few times. She's also besties with the editor of The Independent. She has great relationship with the Sun. I mean, she has her base covered. So who knew she also had Tatler? And not only that, we remember that her nephew, we've talked a lot about Ben Elliott, who was doing those cash for access concierge company, and he was offering cash, getting cash for, or at least offering access to the royal family for cash. And so we did a whole thing that was all that around that, Mr. Mahfouz, Ben Mahfouz, and all of those. Ben Elliott was, while he was working for the government, is also have this company, quintessentially this concierge thing where he's offering cash for access. Well, as we know, that's also Camilla's relatives. That's her nephew. Well, Ben Elliott, according to the Financial Times, Ben Elliott was the well-connected co-founder of concierge service quintessentially, is adding a bit of lifestyle luxury to the YouGov board. Yes, YouGov, that's the polling company that do all of those polls that all give you all of those royal polls. Well, it says the nephew of the Duchess of Cornwall, Camilla, is joining the pollster as a non-executive director. So he was working with YouGov. Now I don't know if I couldn't find if he's still connected with YouGov. And so when you see all these like polls coming out, I mean, even if he is not there, he was with them, so they will be partial to Camilla. It's very funny. It's just wild that her relatives are all over. And not only that, if you think that was even more, there probably is even more. But Tom Parker Bowles, her son, he's a food critic for the Daily Mail. As you can see the date down there, last month, 13th of March. He also had an article there. He writes for them quite a bit as a food critic. And so it says, Tom Parker Bowles tries hangover cure. That seems to actually work. But after 2 beers, 3 pints of cider, a martini and a half bottle of red, he finds out there's a catch. And so this is Tom Parker Bowles, as you can see in the circle there, writing an article for the Daily Mail. I mean, she has her tentacles all over the place. And so you can't be surprised that nobody is ever writing any negative things about Camilla Parker Bowles, because her family she has them planted. She's covered her base. She's, whether she's friends with them or her family works there. So she has all of this connection with the press. So you will never find articles negative towards Camilla Parker Bowles, ever. Because this woman is a master at this. You got to give her some props, coming from where she came from and having the kind of press she had. She basically cultivated these relationships with the press at the expense of many. As Harry said, she was one of the bodies that she basically, trampled over to get better press. And it's just, but it's just very interesting that Camilla Parker Bowles, man, this woman, gotta give her some props, man. Unbelievable. And away from Camilla and that mess, Kate and her Tatler mess, onto another one. So we've been talking nonstop about Kate Middleton's video, her cancer video, whether it's AI. I mean, I don't know. There are I've seen a lot of different videos showing different things about her, whether it's her eye movement, her mouth, her ring, and all of those things, pointing to different markers that it was an AI video. Plus, one of my big things is, apart from all of those things, is also the high gloss that's on her bench, where you can literally see the stripes on her shirt in the gloss of the bench. I mean, I've never seen a bench that glossy before, but hey, maybe it's a royal thing and they have high gloss benches. But, among other things, my big things has always been, this video looks like, at least that's the way it's presented, that it was shot outside. It was bright sunshine. There are flowers in the back of her, except the flowers never moved. It was still. And so my thing has always been like, whether the actual, she is an AI and her little statement and all of that was AI. I don't have confirmed proof, but the back, I know. I was like, the back is like a backdrop, or they did a green screen and just, add in the backdrop and post whatever. Those flowers are blooming at this time. So maybe that could very well be. They could have just taken a photo, did a green screen thing, and then included the photo in post. But BBC had said that no, there was no editing or any of those things. They have still yet to clarify, and they still yet to really speak honestly about this video. So, and also one of the things I also pointed out was the fact that her hair never moved. No, I'm like, you're in the UK and you're outside and not one strand of your hair is blowing. The flowers in the back are not blowing. I mean, if this was outside, my thing is like, okay, If she had to be in a tent or something if this was actually shot outside. But you could see it's almost like the lighting is like studio lighting. The staging of this, I'm like, this is not outside. This is clear. And so Christopher Boozy had some more information. And he's like, look, I'm not going to say whether I think this video is AI or not, but something that I feel like people have not been saying that should be saying. It says, because of the AI debate, you guys have been asking me to give my honest opinion about Kate's latest video. And I'm really baffled as to why everyone is ignoring the biggest red flag in the video, the weather. You're entitled to your opinion, but you're not entitled to your own set of facts. It rained that Wednesday, and it was beyond breezy, because I think they posted that video on the Friday, and they said that it was the Wednesday, the 20th, that video was shot. And if you can look at where Chris had the big red, that Wednesday, you can see it was raining. And apparently it was very windy. So definitely they could not have shot that outside as they're claiming, and as the setting wants people to believe that it was shot outside. Well, it was raining that day. And so, and then the temperature, and you look at what she's wearing, and you're like, yes. And you have this bright sunshine when the weather forecast is like raining. Yes, we know, look, rain could stop and a sun come out, whatever. But who is going to be filming outside in that when the weather would be so unpredictable? That's craziness. So yeah, that this is the obvious that, yeah, look at the whole week. I mean, the whole week of weather from Sunday straight to Saturday, it was raining and cloudy and all of those things. Not the picture that you get from that, and not what you get from this photo with all the sunshine and her looking calm and serene and a very calm day. No, that's not what was happening in real life. And so Christopher Boozy went on to say, moreover, the average wind speed for 4 days they could have filmed, it was approximately 14.5 miles an hour. That is more than enough wind needed to move the plants and hair, which is what I've been saying all the time. That doesn't mean the video is AI generated, but it is highly likely it wasn't filmed where they claimed it was filmed, which was my big argument with this whole thing, that this was not filmed outside as they claimed. So yeah. It's more controversy with this video. As you can see, Chris did the whole month for Windsor, the weather for Windsor, the whole month of March. And this is, it's like more lies coming out of Kensington Palace, and even more concerning coming from the BBC. And so, yeah, because they claim that there was no editing, and nothing. And you're like, wait a minute, no. And so BBC has yet to give account for this. So yeah. And also they put this out. Kate apparently was saying thank you to people who sent her cards, and snarky guy posted this and posted different thank you notes from the Queen and also King Charles. And notice, the thing that you notice about those is that they were signed by the Queen and also signed by King Charles. The one thing you notice about Kate, one, I guess they forgot to put a picture. And if they did, they definitely forgot to put a signature. I guess they can't forge her signature. So you have this is the thank you note with a place that obviously a picture should have been, or something should have been there. And there's no signature, just a thank you for your kind well wishes, Her Royal Highness, Princess of Wales. Your thoughts, gestures is very much appreciated. That's it. So somebody in their office sent this out to people with no signature, nothing personal, to make it personal or anything. And yeah, Kate said thank you. Yeah, no, I think that was somebody from the office. So they're so bad at this. They are just so bad at this. And so it's very funny watching it. But yeah, it just, guys, come on, really? And finally, if you were looking at William, and we looked at William's schedule for the year, I think a few episodes back. But this is William's whole schedule for March. Now, William is fine. There's nothing wrong with William. Yes, I know his wife said she is, has cancer, and his father. But King Charles is back doing his stuff. He was always doing his work, whether via Zoom or whatever. This is William's whole schedule for the month of March. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's it. William worked, and we know these things are about, an hour and a half, maybe tops, these events or engagements. This has been William's whole work schedule for the month of March. And so for Kate, I am like, I said it from the beginning, don't expect Kate back until 2025. I would be shocked if she appears until 2025. Don't expect it. Republic says William hasn't done anything for almost 3 weeks. Is he on holiday? And it says, the reality looks a little different from the spin. Yeah, when you look at what actually is there, because they're like, oh, William is doing this and he's doing, and it's like, but then you look at the reality of what, you put his schedule on paper and you're like, and you're getting how much for this? You're making how much taxpayer dollars for this? And so I'm like, that's your royal family for you. That is the royal family for you. And finally, there are other stuff we could talk about, but I think I'll talk about that in our next episode, stuff going on with the Sun. But this popped up and I thought very interesting. If you want to know how a fake tabloid story gets out there and gets put out into the world, this very short post speaks volumes. It says, Hybrid COE posted this thing, and it says Swedish TV, and they put at whomever this person is, illustrates how a Russia-linked influence campaign designed to stop the West's support to Ukraine is planted and laundered before it reaches us in the West. And this person from the UK quote tweeted it, and he said, Gavin Walsh, he says, we used to do that at Conservative HQ. We would ask the Daily Express, yes, that's the tabloid Daily Express, to print something unsubstantiated, then get an MP to tell Parliament, I read the Express, that X, whatever that they had put in the Express, and then pitch the other papers that Parliament told X. I'm sure Labour did the same thing. So they would plant a story out there, have a MP, a member of Parliament, talk about, oh, I read this so and so and so in the Express, even though it was like fake news, and then get other newspaper to join in and say, oh, this member of Parliament talked about this, whatever that fake news is, and all of a sudden, this fake news was planted there. And all the papers are talking about it, and all of it was fake. And that's how they get propaganda to spread. And that is exactly what happens in the UK. And it's a really wild to see, like, they just admitted that. And so I saw that, I was like, wow, it's, we know this, but it's all, again, they are eating themselves and, eating each other. And they're just exposing all of this stuff that's going on among them. And speaking about the Daily Express, one of their royal hacks, Richard Palmer, posted this. It says, just back from a 5-day break in Istanbul and ready for a new chapter in my life. I left the Daily Express on Friday after 20 years as a royal correspondent for freelance specializing in royal news, features, writing, broadcast commentary, and podcasting. Open to DMs to discuss work. And so we have known this was coming because of all the cuts and all of that stuff that was going on at the Express. We knew this was coming. I'm surprised it has taken this long. Yes, he said that he left, but come on, the cut was coming, right? That was they've been telegraphing that for months, that position is going to be cut, or at least, he's on the chopping block. So him leaving is like, I leave before I got kicked out the door. And so he is no longer there. And there's no pity here. It's like, don't let the door hit you on the way out, Richard. We remember Richard Palmer, he hasn't seen a black person he doesn't want to call a cow or some racist thing at a black woman. That is Richard Palmer's history. So he is no longer at the Express again. Royal news is very, very little. The royals, we see William's schedule, and Kate is non-existent. And the Sussexes are doing their stuff in private, so they are not feeding anything. And the Squatty, we just kind of minding our own business, and they don't have anything to write about. So don't be surprised if more and more people, more and more of these people either lose their job or leave for other things because, again, slim pickings. I mean, they killed the golden goose. So now they have to eat their own and, whatever to get news. So anyways, that's it. That's all I got. Very short. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to our awesome moderators, Lydia, Church, Nelly, Karen M, Cookies and Cream, Black Reed. You are awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you to our awesome 2 Cents crew who support the channel on a monthly basis. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And to all of you who support in the chat, I appreciate it, or PayPal or Cash App. You are awesome. Thank you all so very much. And if you are here and you have not subscribed to our channel, go ahead and subscribe. Click the notification bell so you know when we drop a video. Please like and share the video and join the channel if you're able. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate all of you all, and I shall see, at least chat with you next time. Bye.